What it do, my love? This is your girl, the big cappy herself, Empress Queen Goddess. Well, sometimes I call myself saying Empress Queen Goddess because that's what most people still call me because that was my original name. Empress Queen. Then I put Empress Queen Goddess. So EQG, Empress Queen, Empress Goddess. It's all me, boo. I answer to them. Empress Queen, if you want to call me Empress Queen Goddess. If you want to call me Empress Queen, if you want to call me Empress Goddess, if you want to call me Goddess, if you want to call me, it's me, baby. All right, my loves. Anyway, because sometimes I catch myself still saying Empress Queen. But anyway, my babies, it's me, the Georgia Peach, Empress Goddess. Welcome to Empress Goddess Presents Tantric and Tarot.
Hi, my love. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. I really hope that you are having a beautiful and an amazing day. So I just completed a general collective channel message. I've decided now to look more into the love energy that's happening right now. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Next is going to... Hi, my loves. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. I really hope that you are having a beautiful and an amazing day. So you guys, this is my second reading for the day. Our first reading today was a little heavy. We definitely have an entity, shape-shifting type of entity, carrying the spirit of narcissism amongst us. And this is just to come in to rob, steal, kill, and destroy all of the great things that are coming. I'm sorry, you guys, this is a general, timeless, collective reading. Please only take the messages that resonate with you. But I wanted to just tap in and see what else was going on after just kind of cleansing some of that energy out. But one thing that I wanted to just share, just a little piece of advice, is the fact that the reason why so many people are being attacked right now and why it's so important for you to be very discerning is because people are really trying to play on your mind. Our mind operates off of confirmations. So when things are going well in your life, it's a confirmation that whatever you're doing, it's working for you. So what the enemy is going to constantly try to do is to attack your mind, to stop you from receiving those confirmations by, of course, attacking like your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind is what's going to constantly create that life or that reality for yourself. Be mindful of people coming around you, like I said, trying to find out information. Even people who want to get advice from you. A lot of people are very much captivated by your wisdom, your knowledge, where you get it from, how you got it, how long did it take you to get it. And it starts out as love and admiration, and then it quickly can turn into jealousy, hate, and envy. When people discover that something that is natural for you is something that they may have to work very, very hard to attain or obtain for themselves. So just be mindful of that. There's going to be a mix of really positive energies and then negative energies as well, because the negative things are being cleared out as we are making space for these more positive energies. So you may have one reading that's super positive and the next reading you're just like, oh my goodness, it's not that we want to be Debbie Downers or negative Nancy's, but we can't always be perfect Patty. So let's just get into it and see what's going on. What else is going on? A lot of people, unfortunately, too, what I'm noticing is that the closer that you get to love, the more you are attacked, which we all know that, but a lot of people make this all about relationships. And it's not so much about your relationships with another person. It's really the relationship that you have with yourself, because that is the foundation of all other relationships, right? I will say, though, in the reading that I noticed for some of you, the reading that I posted previously, a lot of you do have a person who is, a twin flame, a karmic soulmate, past life soulmate, or something like that, that is in this very low vibing energy. if you really understand about like the whole twin flame journey, what you need to recognize is that whatever you are seeing be presented to you in this situation with this person, um, for some of you, it's something that you still need to look at within yourself, because sometimes if your person, not I'm not going to say your person, but this person that you see as a twin flame, if there's still a lot of karmic energy in this situation, that's like your shadow side in human form, in flesh, right in front of you. Okay, some of these people are so deeply connected to your wounds, and now that you are ascending, you're growing, you're elevating, you're evolving in life, it has been made very clear that because of your own self-mastery, that these individuals, they cannot celebrate with you. The Three of Cups is here. I wasn't planning to use this deck, but it's here. The Three of Cups, these people, they can't celebrate with you, so they're trying to hold on to you. If you're an earth angel, you're meant to go out and do things. These people want to keep you stuck in the dungeon of hell with them. And I feel like you've been going, for visitation, like, hey, you've been checking in, you've been trying to share your love, your light, your healing energy with these people. But if they don't want to go where you're going, then you have to leave them. It's like these people have gotten the memo that visitation is going to be over. They know the date, they know the time. Visitation is over. You cannot keep going between heaven, earth, and hell playing with these people. If they want to stay in hell, you have to leave them there, and they know that. So these people now are trying to convince you that your healing isn't real. Your reality is false. And they're willing to do whatever it takes by any means necessary to try to get on your good side. These are false and fake apologies that you need to be mindful of. These people are posing as partners, as friends, as soulmates, good family members. But for some of you, you have to, again, be discerning, because it's not that everyone around you is attacking you. This is an energy. And again, that's why shadow work and healing is so important, because if you have in your mind that you're going to constantly be attacked by people, places, things, or situations, it will manifest into that. So for some of you, I said this in a reading a few days ago, it's like if you associate love with fear or trauma, when you get around people who genuinely care about you, before you know it, everything turns from sugar to shit. It's because your subconscious mind is telling you that you need to be afraid of that person. And this could be someone who really, really loves you, which is, again, you have to be discerning. You have to test the spirit. But there's some really, really tricky energies and spirits that's lurking around. So just be careful. So let's just hop into it. Six of Swords. The Justice is here. It's like your challenging times are coming to an end. I always say the demons under your bed are going to scream the loudest when you turn the light on, right? Eight of Pentacles. Okay. It's like you've learned all that you can about a particular person, place, thing, or a situation. If you've been in a cycle, especially with someone for the last 6 to 8 months, 6 to 8 years, or however long here, this cycle is coming to a completion because you've learned everything that you can. It's like you're a subject matter expert in a situation now. Things are looking up for you. Okay. It's time for you to just have peace in your life. Okay. The Queen of Swords is here. Some people could be calling you judgmental. They could say that you're cold. It's because you're mastering the law of detachment, or that's what you need to do. You're seeing that even in these difficult situations, you know how to put your sword up, that sword of truth. You know how to draw the line and have boundaries here. Some of you could be very focused right now on your career, your stability, your finances. You could be going back to school. For some of you, you could be going to different conferences or seminars. It's like you're finding ways to invest in yourself. You're finding ways to date yourself. You're seeing the silver lining. Like you can see that even in these really difficult situations, that there's still something good that has happened to you. Some of you could have been recently divorced, or you recently moved out of a home with someone. You could have relocated, or some of you could be thinking about relocating for work. Go for it. Ace of Pentacles. Wow. Again, a lot about security and stability. Some of you have been working on something for a very long time. Some type of goal here. Like I said, you could be going back to school or starting a business. There's a lot of abundance that's coming in. And sometimes when we think about abundance, we quickly think about money. Okay. Sometimes God will bless you with wisdom, discernment, strength, you know, and that turns into favor that will pour into all areas of your life. A windfall of abundance is not just about money. When you align yourself a certain way energetically, going back to the mind operating off of confirmations, you can see that by mastering yourself, mastering how to have peace, even after being in situations where there's been plenty of broken pieces, there's still an opportunity for you that will bring about good fortune and abundance. So there's really no need for you to be stressed and overwhelmed at this time. You got to push through. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles. You definitely been dedicated to something, and you need to protect whatever it is that you're working on. Whatever your plans are, protected, because the Chariot is here. This self-mastery, this self-discovery here, whatever you're going to school to learn, or whatever, you know, somebody here is learning something. It's leading to the Chariot and the Ace of Wands. Yeah. So now you have the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands here. This is a new, passionate beginning. It's an opportunity, but it comes after you just make the choice to be very bold and courageous. You cannot be pessimistic in this season of your life. You have to be very positive and optimistic. And this is exactly why the enemy keeps trying to attack you. Some of you, whatever you say that is positive, you will have people around you who are automatically going to tell you, no, that's not the case. If you say you're in love, you're gonna have people around you to say, no, this is just infatuation. And sometimes it's your own mind playing tricks on you to keep you stuck and blocked. If you say that, everything is going well, you're gonna have that friend or that family member that's still going to bring some type of drama to your doorstep. There's an energy that is amongst us that just wants people to let their guard down so that the enemy has more access. But do not be deceived, because now is the time to take action. 3 of Pentacles here. This has a lot to do. So a bunch of cards just fell out. This has a lot to do with your work, your success here. Okay. But the 5 of Cups is here. The 5 of Cups is, of course, it's regret. It's some type of grief or disappointment that can turn into being resentful. That's what makes some people jealous and envious. Even if things don't work out in their life, then they become upset with people who are putting in the work and possibly experiencing favor in that season. We don't have favor in every single season of our lives. But somebody here is upset. Justice. That it is being made known that you are a high priestess. And it's not so much that, because listen, everyone is not a high priestess. Okay. The high priestess energy, though, is the fact that you have discovered yourself, your inner self. Somebody is upset about that fact alone, because once you come into that certain level of self-awareness and consciousness, the illusions that are being sent to you or created around you in your environment no longer can affect you the same. You'll start to listen to people and you'll know that person is lying. That's why people are doing mind control and domination spells and all of this other mess, especially around these moon cycles, because like the moon, they want to hide the truth. These people are very afraid that you're going to shed old skin and old weight and get rid of these outdated beliefs and really see the truth, because you're amongst a bunch of liars. 8 of Wands here. You have some type of intellect or intel that's coming in very quickly. You're seeing and understanding that some of you have recently, and I just talked about this, and I will say it even personally for myself, you recently discovered how important it is to forgive oneself as well as other people, to start to see that everything truly does just happen for a reason. See the blessing in a lot of these test, trials, and tribulations. And this awareness alone is going to allow you to really move into a new positive beginning very, very rapidly. Some of you could definitely be traveling for work with this Eight of Wands being out here, or like I said, relocating for a job. I feel like you've been working really, really hard, like overworking yourself. This is coming to an end very soon. Ten of Wands is here. It's like Spirit is coming in with something passionate as well as something stable and secure so that you have an opportunity to rest, so that you can have more balance in your life, so that you don't have to keep overworking yourself. The Queen of Pentacles is here with the Seven of Swords. Some of you could have a Queen of Pentacles around you. This could be someone that you work with actually, or just, I don't know, someone in your life that comes off like they're very generous and practical. This person could be hiding the fact that they're actually very materialistic, very possessive and bossy. Seven of Swords is here. This Queen of Pentacles is someone that is around you. And like I said, they paint themselves to be humble and gracious and practical, but this person is greedy. This is the kind of person that, like I said, especially in business, financial matters, you have to be careful of a Queen of Pentacles who's carrying a Seven of Swords type of energy. This is the kind of person who can quickly become cutthroat. You need to be careful of this person because this is someone around you that's wanting you to lose something. This is the kind of person around you who will go and tell your business or tell your secrets or sabotage you. And I feel like this is someone who's very, very close to you. This person could even be in your family with the Ten of Cups here. Yeah. I just get this energy right now too, where it's extremely important to just be very mindful of what you share with people. Because everything good, if the enemy knows what your dreams are, is going to come in and somehow try to take it from you. You have the Ten of Cups with the Knight of Cups though, and the Six of Pentacles. I feel like a lot of the good things that you've done, especially when it comes to your relationships and partnerships, is being returned to you. Okay. Knight of Cups and the Ten of Cups here. Some of you do have like a romantic partner that's coming towards you. This could be something that starts out pretty slow and steady. The Knight of Cups to me is someone who is, doesn't necessarily have to be young, but it's not a major offer. But this is something that could be slow and steady. It can turn into, a commitment, a marriage, a very just loving type of relationship. This could even be the return of a family member for some of you. It doesn't always have to be romantic. This could just be a soulmate, somebody that's coming in to return some of your good karma to you. Page of Cups. Transformation. Yeah, so there's a person coming into your life who most likely, wow. So this is a second reading today where the Emperor and the Empress have come out together. So maybe this is where all of the hatred is coming from, because there's a union that's happening here. Somebody is going into a union. Here, just seriously. This is the second reading today where the Emperor and the Empress have come out. I have not touched this deck in over 3 months. And you saw me shuffle and shuffle and shuffle. There's a union happening here. This is why the devil is so mad. This is a past life type of connection here, possibly twin flames or something here. There's a rebirth or a transformation here. And this connection is causing a major upheaval for everyone who has tried to work against it. The Hermit card is here. I don't know. This could be two people who have been in separation. This could be someone you haven't even met before. So you've been physically separated, but energetically connected. This journey has taught someone a lot about just self-discovery. The Page of Cups here, it's like, again, this is the reason for all of the hatred. because someone here is becoming open to love, new emotional experiences. If you're asked to go out somewhere, you could meet someone. You could just randomly meet a person somewhere, and this could turn out to be like the love of your life. Someone is very stressed out about this, though. Nine of Swords. Yeah. You have someone here that possibly delayed a union with you, but I don't think that they were your person anyway, or they just decided not to get on the path with you. You have a real union coming in now, though, with the Four of Wands, and someone is very, very shaken and stirred right now about the fact that you see the light. You're seeing things totally differently, and someone else is too. Yeah, you have the Four of Wands here with the Four of Cups. Don't let a magical opportunity miss pass you, because there is manipulation here. Yeah, you have to be very assertive right now to work through a lot of the mind games, because the Ten of Swords here and the Three of Swords. And I said this, there is a spiritual attack happening right now, which is to be expected with, new moons and full moons or whatever. There is a spiritual attack happening right now, and it's attacking the mind to cause interference and friction and confusion, and to make you think about heartbreak. You're going to have to really, really be mentally tough right now. Have compassion and forgiveness. Some of these people that are doing this, you just have to ask God to have some kind of mercy on their soul, because the things that are going to happen to them for all of the things they've done is going to be just completely awful. Hopefully you're off living your life, but it's just some people, they refuse to change or to heal. And I say have grace and mercy, because some people, what's really unfortunate is that they don't recognize that they need to heal. So they're just lost. But it's like you've already experienced a lot of personal growth from your heartache and your pain. That cycle in your life is over. Like, there's a huge weight being lifted off your shoulders. You're freeing yourself from these toxic codependent connections, because, and this had to happen, this tower moment that's happening right now, because yeah, you have a very beautiful connection that's coming in for you. Someone that's, dependable. The Page of Pentacles is here, so it's like, yeah, you're going to receive good news. And I feel like you've been juggling, dealing with this imbalance in your life for a long time, not being able to really prioritize certain things, or it's like, if money is good, love isn't, or vice versa, or running across people who want to juggle you, or just whatever it is, something here is being balanced out. What's going on in this new connections? Four of Swords, healing. You have a new connection coming in, and it'll come to you when you're at peace. That's the reason why people don't want you to be at peace. Makes perfect sense. Here's the Knight of Cups and the Four of Swords. When you least expect it, maybe when you're traveling, because there's a lot of cards out here that speak about traveling. Maybe once you relocate, or you're just in a peaceful state. Some of you, once you learn to meditate, you just cleanse and clear your mind and your energy, and you improve your overall aura. Someone is going to quickly come towards you with some type of offer. And this is the kind of person here who is a leader. Knight of Wands here. They're passionate about their pursuit. They're a visionary. You have to be at a state, though, of not being worried about this. King of Cups here. This could be someone who's a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or wow. The Death card. King of Cups and the Death. Both of these cards to me are Scorpio. So somebody, you could be meeting a person who is like, they have Scorpio somewhere heavily aspected in their chart. This could also be the type of person too who is very mysterious. They could have a lot of raw thoughts, feelings, and emotions about you that they don't really share. But this type of person, what I'm picking up here is that this is the kind of person who's going to transform the way that you see life and love and how you express yourself. This is the type of person that I'm hearing is going to be able to love you without you putting everything out on Front Street, because they're not coming in to manipulate you. You're going to be at peace in this situation. And that's what a lot of you need after everything you've gone through. You need to be able to just be at peace. For some of you, like I said, you really may meet this person. A water is here and a boat on vacation, or this may be someone that you enjoy vacationing with. Okay. This person could have air and water in their chart. And I'm getting for some of you, I feel like there's a lot of Scorpios who are watching this reading, but because we're in Scorpio season, a lot of people are just kind of embodying that energy anyway. Something about this connection is going to be transformative. It's going to cause you to go through like a death and rebirth process in yourself, where maybe you're finally going to just like let your hair down, do some things that you don't normally do. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles here. I'm definitely seeing a very fun, flirty type of energy here. Knight of Pentacles is like starting over. You know, the Knight of Pentacles is someone who can be a messenger, but I see you guys like just having fun. Like I don't know, but I'm seeing somebody like go to a carnival or hanging out. Like it's a refresh, it's a reset or restart. This is a love that's coming in, that's a vibrational match for this new energy that you're in or stepping into. So everything is going to be brand new. You're going to find yourself being interested in doing things that you don't typically do after going through a very painful ending. Some of you are going through divorces, okay? And this is the reason why you're still juggling here. You could still kind of be dealing with some heartache and pain about a situation that has had to end, or maybe this person is even, but this is someone here who's going to want to really fight through this. Or it's the type of person who's going to have a very clear understanding about your life and what you've gone through, because maybe they've gone through the same thing. It's a lot of compassion here. I'm hearing you get to rest easy. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, it's been a lot of juggling here. You could have been, in a situation where there's been a lot of trauma around juggling and third party situations and just heartbreak, or someone, just a lot of lies and interference here. There's a new situation that's coming in. Ace of Wands, Six of Swords, definitely movement or travel here. Six of Cups, it's like you're moving away from the past, but some of you, you could be moving forward with someone from the past, taking how it resonates, but you're moving on a peaceful, calm waters with the Four of Swords, the Six of Swords. This is resting, it's retreating, it's becoming rejuvenated again. This passionate new beginning is going to make you feel almost childlike. With the Four of Swords being here on top of the Six of Cups as well, I feel like for some of you, if you have not taken time to rest, to retreat, maybe even to travel, maybe you need to. There could be something from your past or your childhood that you're needing to heal. The Four of Swords here, this could be something that causes a little bit of like light depression or anxiety for you. But you have this King of Cups with the Six of Swords. Like this type of love or this connection with this person is going to take you to a place of being at peace and very calm. There's an ending here and a new beginning that's going to lead to something very passionate. But again, it's like juggling. I'm seeing with some of you, it's so cute. Some of you are going to be up late at night. Like you're going to really be trying to juggle a new connection in your daily life because it's going to feel so new. It's not just a new connection, it's a new feeling. It's something you're not accustomed to. This is going into a time where you're going to be able to enjoy like a healthy, happy, harmonious type of love. The things that you normally prioritize, you're going to be with someone who's you're going to want to prioritize this person because they prioritize you. Look at how beautiful that is, the star. So this could be someone who's, spiritual, like you, or they're into the same things. They believe in fated connections, or whatever. Some of you could meet this person like at the gym. They may encourage you to go to the gym to work out with the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands here. Strength card and the Judgment. I don't know why some of you feel like someone may judge you in a harsh manner because of your appearance or your children, but a lot of you, you're very, very strong Leo energy here. You're really, really strong, and you could have children. You could have gone through a divorce or something like that. There's this energy coming in of someone who is truly going to just love you, and they're going to know right away. This is a fated type of meeting or connection here with the Judgment card. The Judgment, to me, though, again, it just seems like it's something that you're needing to look over. It's a new direction. Something about this connection, it may remind you of something from the past, but this is the reason why you need to heal and have compassion for the past so that you can actually embrace this connection. Because for some of you, this connection is your Two of Cups. It's a Two of Cups connection that you're manifesting, but you have this toxicity, this devil that's lurking in the background. Yeah, the devil is standing in between the Two of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. So the offer that you really, really want, that you've been manifesting and praying for, is here, but you have the devil that's lurking over. Some of you, the devil is your fear around love. Some of you, the devil is an actual person. But look, you have here the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords here together. And the Six of Pentacles. So Spirit is saying, yes, this is a sure thing. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. Yeah, this is something brand new. It's everything that you imagine. Six of Pentacles, and it's equal give and take. Whatever they have, they're going to share with you. This person is going to be able to read you, and you're going to read them. There's a psychic, spiritual connection between you and this person. Knight of Wands. So this person may come in quickly. Wow, the Knight of Wands is here in the world. Some of you really may meet this person traveling. Or one of you or both of you travel a lot for work. This could be a long distance relationship. Yeah, there's love here though. You and this person could have different backgrounds. You could be from two totally different places. Could be an age difference. Culturally, background, something here may be different.
This is what I do here. You new to my channel. I'm Empress Goddess. This is Empress Goddess Presents, and I present, discuss all things related to spirituality. You know, tantric, sex, Kundalini. You know, anything that has to do with consciousness and enlightenment. Divination, occult studies, esoteric studies. That's what I do here. And I share a lot of tarot readers that I like to listen to on my platform. So this is MYSTIC Tori right now, and she just came back after 3 months. Her name is in the description box. So if you like the way she read, I always drop their names in the description box, and most of the time I put their links in there too. But you go over there and subscribe to and show some love. If you like the way I present my content, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. All right, yeah. Keep coming back. And after this reading, I'm going into some tantric and Kundalini.
This person are drawn together though. This person may be like your total opposite. But you complement one another very well. The Five of Wands and the Five of Swords is here. A lot of conflict, chaos, competition, drama, envy, and other things here that may seem to be projected towards this type of this connection. But these are a lot of things happening outside of you. I feel like someone here wants to have victory and success at making an offer to you, being with you. But this person is someone who could have recently gotten out of a serious relationship, or they could have been terminated from a job, They could have custody issues. Okay, they could have a person from their past that's just bitter, angry. That could be a lover, a family member. Somebody here is going through some type of ending, and it seems like this is a fated connection where someone literally they may meet you just like I said at a chance as a chance meeting, maybe on a trip, or you could be on a business trip and meet this person. But this looks like something as soon as you and this person kind of meet under these weird circumstances, it turns into the Ten of Cups. This also could be someone that's already watching you. The Page of Swords is here with the Hermit card and the Ten of Pentacles. So someone could be watching you. They may have options now. This could even be someone that is around you and you know that they have options or they know you have options. This could be someone that you kind of like or you've expressed interest in before, but you kind of keep yourself grounded and you come off as very practical, girl next door, boy next door kind of energy. But this person keeps their eye on you. And I feel like this person is seeing you grow and mature, or you're watching this person. Someone could have known that perhaps you come out of like a bad situation, or you know this about somebody and you like them or they like you, but you're just not ready to take action right now. But we have 3 tens here. So again, this Scorpio energy is bringing you about a major ending and a new beginning. Someone in here is leaving something behind or is healing after a major ending, whether it's an ending in family and their career, financial loss. We're all adults here. Things happen. People suffer losses in the family. There's a lot here around family, around finances, connections and commitments. But at the center of it is still it's the Ten of Cups. This is having a very happy, peaceful life with a person. And then the Ten of Pentacles, meaning this is something that can legacy is long term. You have an opportunity to have the financial stability, the security, as well as the happiness. But this does come with something ending here. Somebody may have to end having several options. I just get the feeling that the fact that someone is choosing to go in a connection with you or you choosing to go in a connection with somebody, it's just causing a lot of drama. Wow, Temperance is here. Yeah, so listen, like I said, this is why the hate is so real, because there is absolutely a beautiful family coming together here. This could be someone that you know, it could be someone new. You could have kids, they could have kids, you may not have kids, you may not want to have kids. But it looks in both of these photos there's a child here. Some of you you're meant to have at least one child with this person. It could be a girl, it could be a boy. But someone, I feel like this person, when they see you, they just see the future. For some of you, this is someone who is hiding this from you, though. If it's someone that you know, they're hiding this from you. Like they haven't come right out and just said, that like you're the one. um, this is pretty straightforward. Wait a minute before I pull those. Something here, you need to ghost though. I feel like someone is for sure healing. And I feel like someone here has PTSD from like a past relationship. And this is also like that devilish energy here where someone here, this could be you or your person or both of you, have gone through like a painful ending, whether it was with a lover or family, friends, or whatever. And you kind of have like PTSD here where you're very, very afraid to be hurt. But the thing about it is when you choose to have this type of love here, when you give a person the power to truly, truly love you, in giving that power away, you're also giving someone the power to destroy you. And a lot of people, everyone wants love, everyone deserves love. So there's always a risk. And this is the problem. A lot of people are afraid to take the risk because of what they've already been through. So don't miss out on a magical opportunity because of what you've already been through with someone. And give grace to a person that you may meet who also has this issue. I know as women don't always take into account the fact that some men are hurt, they're wounded, and they're abused in relationships as well. And they may not be that quick to be open emotionally. Not every person is just being emotionally unavailable because they're narcissistic. Some people are emotionally unavailable because they've been abused by a narcissist, and that could be a male or a female. And that type of abuse doesn't only have to come from a lover. It can come from uh, anyone. It can come from you working with the extreme narcissist. It can come from parents. But it can be traumatizing for some people. So for some of you, you could have been dealing with someone, or you're dealing with someone who they come off like they're unavailable. Like I said, they're emotionally unavailable. And if that's the case, then that's okay. So this person may not be able to give you everything that you deserve right now. And a part of the reason could be because they're going through some type of divorce or some type of ending or separation. I'm hearing job separation as well. People get laid off. We're all, like I said, we're all adults here, that we have real life issues that happen. But time alone or in nature will help you to recharge. So for some of you, there could be a separation, and that happens when you think about having a life with a person. You have to, like I said before, there's going to be job loss, there's going to be health issues, there's going to be deaths in the family. Things happen. Some of you, though, you have a situation in your life or coming into your life, and I'm telling you, it's not going to be all just peaches and cream. You may run into some type of issue or obstacle that may challenge you. So if it's worth it, fight for it. Don't just assume that this person is just like the last person that you were with. And you may have to, if the shoe is on the other foot, you may have to try to advise this person that you're not like the last person that they were with, because there's fear here. Someone is afraid that someone won't be able to give them what they want. But look at this. This relationship is moving towards a sacred union. Wow. One person is giving too much in this relationship here and now. Your true love is already a part of your life. This could be someone in your life right now who's just a friend, or someone that you just recently met. They may not be available to give you what you want right now, and you may feel like this is causing some type of instability. Maybe you're giving too much, and hurt people. They're not able to receive what you're giving right now because they're just not ready. So if there has to be a separation, that's okay. When it says this relationship can stand the test of time, I just want to say this. Self-care is here, children, and boundaries. This friendship is leading to more. Okay. Some of you, a person may have issues with their children right now, and they're trying to establish boundaries with a person that they have children with. Some of you need to have boundaries with someone, especially if it's like a friendship type of situation. If one of you or both of you is acting childish, you also want to make sure that this situation aligns with your morals and values. Strictly sexual is here. Don't get yourself caught up in a situation where you possibly end up
This
having
is
children.
Audible.
Tantric sex and dirty talk and online dating 2 in 1. Revitalize your sexual life, learning the tantric massage, meditation, and Kundalini awakening. Drive your partner crazy.
The facets of Tantra. For what reason is Tantra misconstrued? This is on the grounds that one of the most discussed parts of Tantrism has an extraordinary relationship to sexuality. As such, while it doesn't share the totality of its essence, the sexual demonstration itself is a certified part of Tantrism. Generally, Tantra was instructed in mystery, just to the followers who are best in class through thorough training of the mind. A crucial feature would consistently be complete modesty, something typical for any obvious priest or PhD belief. Arriving at
Chapter 1. What is Tantra? Albeit regularly synonymous with sex, Tantra is extremely about association, regardless of whether that is with yourself or among you and a partner. All things considered, the word itself originates from a Sanskrit word, which means web or to weave energy. Practically speaking, Tantra is about enlightenment, to rise above both the sexual and spiritual planes by participating in profoundly thoughtful, free, and casual sex. Tantra meditation includes the articulation of Tantra mantras, or holy chants, Tantra breathing, and reverent thoughtfulness and meditation. Therefore, it doesn't, generally speaking, require the expert to engage in sexual relations. Or maybe the goal is to find that space of absolute non believing that is perpetually accomplished during the last phases of the sexual act and resulting climax. The mind is neither willing nor ready to hold on to any thoughts at this definitive time of sexual rapture. Moreover, the goal of Tantra meditation is to reach and keep up this state. Tantra meditation can be practiced alone or in an adequately guided Tantra for couples meditation session. It is commonly wise to practice in any group setting, since this takes into consideration a more prominent development of synergistic Tantra energy. Under the direction of a certified Tantra expert, the full intensity of Tantra meditation is released and experienced by the participant. It opens up an immediate channel for Tantra energy to stream. In this way, releasing all pressure, stress, and strain from the mind and body. Thus, the participant can encounter unity with the infinite powers that made, support, and enable a real existence sustained by the ancient art of Tantra. Inside every one of us, explicitly in the area of the spine's tailbone, lies a center of energy that stands by to expand and change us. The thought behind Tantra meditation is to enable this energy to climb through the different focuses of intensity, the Tantra chakras, and arrive at the crown chakra. It must be noted here that this is an ancient energy, which is in its unformed state. Despite the fact that it is amazing, it can likewise hurt whenever permitted to stream without appropriate guidance. At the end of the day, Tantra meditation ought not be practiced without the supervision and guidelines of an accomplished Tantra expert. Under the correct conditions, it tends to be an extraordinary encounter. The Tantra expert can instruct you to embrace and use the energy produced during such a meditation session to boundlessly improve your sexual coexistence, relational connections, and capacity to address the different anxieties and difficulties of current life. Tantra practice is a long. For what reason is Tantra misconstrued? This is on the grounds that one of the most discussed part of Tantrism has an extraordinary relationship to sexuality. As such, while it doesn't share the totality of its essence, the sexual demonstration itself is a certified part of Tantrism. Generally, Tantra was instructed in mystery, just to the followers who are best in class through thorough training of the mind. A crucial feature would consistently be complete modesty, something typical for any obvious priest or PRST devotee. Arriving at the phase of Tantra implied that one had aced the primary strategies for profound control. However, further developed ones also were set up for the most noteworthy or most mysterious training. It is essential to get that, truly, the lay or conventional individuals were never instructed in Tantrism. For what reason is Tantra fundamental? Sexual association gives a continuum of energy inside the tantric specialist, which can be copied by some other methods. This is the reason, without sexual association, specific sorts of profound acceptance are unthinkable. See Solar Bot.
Why do people talk dirty? You can read this because your partner has shown an interest in listening to naughty words in the warmth of passion and lust. You might have been looking for this book because you are the one who always missed these sweet things. Maybe you want to take your sex life to the next level, or you just want to know why your partner likes to talk in bed. Maybe you are a fantastic dirty talker who needs one or two new ideas. Or maybe you just want to read to learn about the secrets of passion and lust. Whatever the reason, you have chosen the right book that will make you get what you need and desire. Dirty talking has become part of our sexual culture, so that it created polls, interviews, forums, surveys, books, and research. In truth, before it was known as dirty talk, the culture of telling your lover sexual things to be aroused and turned on was known by its scientific name, lagnolalia. There exist good reasons for all of this scientific interest. More than 80% of our sexual lives occur in our heads, which means that imagination, memory, and desire are some of the strongest drivers of everything we do behind closed doors. Research shows that your mind is tight when you become sexual and physical with your partner. So, why not talk dirty to your lover? It's on your mind all day long. According to Alan P. Zoldbrod, MD, the author of more than a few books about delinquency, sexual conversations with your partner not only change the game of sexual pleasure, but enrich your life in ways you never imagined. It makes your partner feel good about how excited you are, and through your excitement, they feel like the best lovers in the world. This might explain why dirty talk make you shiver in the right place. But that doesn't explain why the wildest dirty talk can be the hottest. Saying the F word casually when something goes great is one thing which normally comes with a smile, but it is a different thing entirely to tell your partner exactly how you want to make love to them or fuck them in the most physical or sexual. Applying dirty talk for intimate use. You should already have a good dirty talk idea store. You have seemingly set the stage and made your perfect love nest to try something new. Now, it's time to optimize the atmosphere. It's not easy to jump to something, especially in something so intimate. The best way is to get in, and here are some crazy ways to light a fire. If you have not spoken dirty with your partner, surprise him with your comments that you are interested in dirty talk. Once you find a way to think dirty, the options will seem endless. Get ready to jump if you miss the subtle hint. Here are a few simple ideas. When you sit in a movie, take his hand during a sex scene. If you hear a dirty word, press his hand tighter. It makes sense to let him know that you are interested. If you see a sex scene on TV, comment on that. Simply saying, "That looks hot," will let him know that he likes what he sees. Mention a study that you read on the internet. "Honey, I read somewhere that most couples don't talk during sex. Do you think we talk enough?" Leave erotic stories on the bedside table where you know that he will see it. If you hear something that can be interpreted as something naughty, wink at your partner and smile at him. If he isn't following, explain why you found it funny. Use adjectives that describe everyday things clearly. For example, if you are at the beach and ask him to put lotion on his back, smile and comment about how soft, oily, and wet you feel. This is lotion. Naughty role-playing tips and tricks. The universe of pretending is the foundation of dirty talk. Talking dirty regularly implies telling a story for your darling, gradually offering a fantasy in words, one that will turn them on by the pictures you paint in their psyche. Pretending makes that thought a stride further and transforms that fantasy into the real world, or as near reality. Getting hardcore. So far, we've discussed nearly everything that you have to begin down the dirty talk street. In case you're not there yet, you're well on your way at this point, and you may be getting inquisitive about what comes straight away. What happens when you are progressively all right with dirty talk and you're in the state of mind to move out of your customary range of familiarity? You get hardcore. Getting into hardcore fantasies frequently implies no-nonsense language. It may be elusive, the correct words to clarify what's in your mind, however, it tends to be finished. It just takes some imagination and a great deal of receptive outlook. Being totally uninhibited with your accomplice will open up wide skylines of the hardcore nature. Keep in mind those web look-through you did when you were first contemplating speaking profanely to your accomplice. Presently is a decent time to return to those. You're showing signs of improvement about speaking profanely, and it's turning out to be increasingly unconstrained. Yet your dirty talk can expand to incorporate things that will shock him and make his moxie rise. Return to those pornography recordings, the ones you watched when you were first getting thoughts for dirty talk. Watch them once more, yet now bring your progressively prepared ear. Words that didn't turn you on before might light your flames now. As you watch,
Chapter 1. What is Tantra? Albeit regularly synonymous with sex, Tantra is extremely about association, regardless of whether that is with yourself or among you and a partner. All things considered, the word itself originates from a Sanskrit word which means web or to weave energy. Masturbation. Solo play doesn't generally need to be tied in with accomplishing climax. Rather, set aside the effort to truly investigate your private parts and what gives them delight. Touch yourself in new ways. Slow your strokes. Be calm in the manner in which you play with yourself. Keep in mind to breathe profoundly and gradually, regardless of whether you're thinking or stroking. Enable your breath to align with and send shivers down your body. Be present with your sensations. Rather than allowing your mind to wander, focus on everything your body is feeling. Allow yourself to encounter a full scope of feelings. This will empower you to completely take advantage of your energy and power. Set an expectation for your exercises. Realize what you need to flow in your Tantra session, regardless of whether it's to have an exceptional climax or to feel increasingly great in your skin. Step-by-step instructions to build a moment with a partner. Keep in mind, Tantra reaches out beyond sex. You can work up to that or decide not to go there by any means. You and your partner can execute tantric standards into different practices that can develop the occasion. Foreplay. Foreplay can be anything you need it to be. Oral, a back rub, scrubbing down together. Therefore, whatever you do. What is the sacred spot during Tantra? The sacred spot is the tantric expression for portal to the second chakra, energy focus. The passageway is through the initiation of the G-spot in the partners. It is really a region, not just a spot in the body, that once enacted swells and loads up with sensation and can be amazingly pleasurable, realizing discharge and healing numerous levels. The sacred spot holds profound feelings and ought to be contacted with respect and love. In cisgendered ladies, individuals appointed as female during childbirth, and as yet picking that sexual orientation, the sacred spot is the female prostate and is found roughly somewhere between the back of the pubic bone and the cervix. Initiation of the sacred pot Initiation of the sacred spot is frequently connected to the arrival of female discharge, or Amrita, which means divine nectar in Sanskrit. A tantric masseuse on sexual healing. Having positive sexual energy in your life is great for you and everybody around you, says Rachel. She's the lady my companions continue calling their sexual doula. And I'm here at her West Village Law / workspace to discover precisely what that implies. A West Coast transplant with a degree in brain science is a tantric masseuse. Her activity, in her very own words, is to assist individuals with arriving at their full limit with regards to the
possibly end up having children or doing things that are childish because you don't have boundaries. Just make sure that you're doing things right now that are in alignment with your higher self and your goals. But I just want to say that I just started posting after not being on the channel for 3 months, and the energy that I'm picking up on in just the last 2 or 3 days of posting is that a lot of people, you have several people in your energy. There's an energy that's jumping around. It's like you have this really, really good energy here, but it's very challenging and confusing because you're being triggered by a past energy as well as things in your own subconscious mind. Because it's like it's something here that's really, really good, but you will miss this opportunity because something about it seems very similar to a situation that you've been in that was really bad. And what that means is that there is something here that you're still clearing out. You can have a soulmate come into your life and you're absolutely supposed to be with that person. And there could still be some type of karmic lesson that you have to learn in the time that you are with that person. And I don't think that a lot of people talk about that. People think that once they do the healing work and they let go of one toxic situation that, you're just going to go into perfect relationships, and that's not true. Nothing is going to be perfect. You just become more aware of how to deal with the imperfections. Something here is good. It's not perfect because it's not meant to be. But by working through this situation, you will be able to see that maybe you give too much, Maybe you'll notice that you're afraid of love. It's those types of issues here. But it's a situation where it's two people where the attraction and the chemistry is mutual. It's shared between both people, but the two of you both need support. This doesn't feel like codependency to me. It just feels like growing pains, like learning how to communicate. Yeah, this person is in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson. This friendship is leading to more. So, this could be like a friend. Whatever the situation is, it has potential. But before you get to the serious, sacred part of this connection, you're being taught a lesson about self-care, self-preservation. This isn't a connection where you need to go in and being selfless and not having boundaries. This person is here. It can be slow and steady. Allow it to unfold naturally and there'll be stability here. So it's like you're being taught in a way how to have a healthy relationship. Sexual healing. Attraction. So very strong attraction between you and this person. So some of you could be dealing with somebody, and I wanted to say this earlier because that friendship card, this could be like a friends with benefits situation for some of you. Some of you, that's the case, and this person, they can't give you anything more than that, and you need to see that for what it is. For some of you, it could be a friends with benefits, sexual type of connection, and there is a lot of sexual healing here. You and this person are very drawn to each other. Your sexual chemistry comes from the spiritual connection that you have. But this connection will take time to develop and go into something more serious. So for some of you, yeah, there's a tricky energy here. It could be strictly sexual, and it's nothing more. So don't try to make it something more. But for some of you, you have a person that comes into your life or they're in your life. They want stability and security with you, and for this to move towards marriage. But right now, the two of you are in a phase of clearing out some karmic debts, perhaps, where there is a strong attraction and sex could be involved, but it's for healing. Ooh, spiritual awakening. Wow, this is very, very intense. Ooh, I just felt that like this is intense. Because for some of you, what I'm getting here just right away, you thought that you were with your twin. Mm-mm. You have a person coming into your life or is in your life, you're gonna almost spiral out of control because this is taking you on like a new wave of your spiritual awakening. This connection is very important. And even if you don't end up with this person, they're meant to teach you. This person is meant to teach you how to let go, to be in this playful like energy that you're supposed to learn how to let your hair down and just be, how to have fun and recapture romance in your life. This sexual healing, this person may find you very attractive or you find this person to be really attractive. This playful energy is going to reawaken and ignite something in you that was imbalanced before because maybe you were lacking intimacy. This is tricky and confusing though, because someone here may use sex as the way that they communicate. And because of your experiences in the past, for some, you may look and say that this person, they just want to hit it and quit it and there is nothing here, when in actuality, this person wants deeper intimacy with you. But how they express things is different. Somebody here may be wanting to abstain from sex. It may be very hard with this person. Or I don't know, maybe through sex it's like this. Something is going to be awakened. Some of you really thought that maybe somebody was your twin flame. And I don't know, it's something about the energy and the connection with someone in your life that's going to make you quickly realize that you were in some type of illusion about another person. Now, for some of you, you could keep meeting people and you're just recognizing that there's somebody from your past, whatever you felt with that person, it's just never gonna go away. I don't wanna bash a past person or a new person. It's the energy. It doesn't matter if they're here and now or it's from the past. You'll know by the energy. You'll know how it feels for you. Ooh, this is intense to say the least. This is coming in for some of you very soon. And I also feel too, I don't know if for some of you, you've already met this person or if you're going to meet this person very soon after you meet this person. Wow, I just had a full vision. Very soon after you meet this person, you're going to go into a spiritual awakening, or they are. And I feel like everything is going to, there's this energy of everything becoming very chaotic. I'm literally also seeing too where for some of you, you can meet someone through work or at an event. Holiday parties are coming up soon, or even like on a quick trip. You could meet someone and they could be separated or just on a break from a person that they are in a relationship with or that they live with or that they are married to. If you and this person through some type of playful moment, and for some of you, even after some type of sexual encounter, everything is going to blow up from that point on, because it's something about your energy with this person that is going to lead to this profound, like spiritual awakening. There's some type of magnetic attraction here. This is definitely someone from a past life. It has to be. This person's soul recognizes yours. And I feel like very soon after you have these playful moments or whatever, this could even be a situation where a person, like, they get scared and they ghost you, or you get scared and you ghost this person. But it's like everything is going to change. It's like through this connection, and honestly, even through like for some, you know, because I know some people are abstaining from sex. That's your business for everyone, depending on your walk of life. But through some type of intimacy here, or some moment or experience, it's like someone is going to automatically recognize who you are. It has to be like past life. Butterfly. I'm telling you, butterflies. And here's magnetic souls. Yeah. The law of attraction. It's like you and this person, this is someone in your life. It's like two peas in a pod. Like, I feel like it's that love hate kind of relationship. Someone here is going to be upset that perhaps they can't be with you the way that they want because of these endings and these transitions and the transformation that's taking place in your life or in their life. But it's like the sexual healing and the butterflies and the attraction. It's like you call this person in, they called you in, like they're your perfect match, but they're so different from you. But the spiritual awakening, whatever you go through, is going to show you that you and this person are drawn to each other no matter what. And very soon after having these experiences, you and this person are going to recognize that you're life partners. So I can't say if this is a twin flame or if it's a soulmate life partnership. This is somebody that you can do life with. It doesn't matter the title. This is someone who is a vibrational mate. You've called this person in. You've been calling your soulmate in. And the playfulness here and annoyance is just like you and this person. You may get annoyed with each other because it's like they're going to know you so well, I feel. You're going to know them. You can't hide with this person. I think that the type of vulnerability here is going to put you in a different state of mind because you haven't experienced that in a long time. So this is somebody who's coming in and they're like, hey, I want to be your homie, lover, friend. And for you, it's like that may be difficult, or for this person, take it how it resonates, or for both of you. Wow. I'm going to pull out the little heart cards and close this out. But this beautiful connection for some of you is the reason why you're experiencing so many attacks. You have your twin flames and beloved when I cut the deck. Though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united. For love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. Wow. So for some of you, you know this person, but you're separated. For some of you, you energetically connected with this person. But maybe you haven't met them. Or you haven't seen this person in a really, really long time, or something like that. You may meet this person when you look at that. I shuffled the cards. So for some of you, maybe this is a twin flame that you're meeting or reconnecting with. Wow. It says emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. See, I'm telling you. That's why I said when you judge and assess your past, be forgiving and show compassion to that person and yourself. Hurt people hurt people. If you're going through a divorce or whatever the case may be, you're going to have to move forward with some grace and have mercy for yourself and that person. And if you meet a person that has gone through something like that, you're going to have to show them a bit of compassion, because these types of emotions that are going to come up during these types of, situations, and even after, can make you feel like something is bad when it's actually good for you. So I'm saying that devil that lives in your mind, it's not just people around you. It can be your own thoughts. Some of you, as soon as you start to feel butterflies for somebody, before you know it, you're scared. That's the enemy attacking you, trying to make you stay stuck in the past. You have your power. You instinctively know what is right for you, and you have the power to say no or to walk away at any time. So Don't be afraid to get to know a person. Don't be afraid to have fun. Okay? Don't be afraid to take a risk. You stay in your power. Does it align with your higher self and your integrity? You can say no at any time. You can get started in a situation and it can be passionate, and if it doesn't work for you, you just walk away. That's you really being in your own power. You don't have to wait for somebody to do something for you or to make a decision for your life. It says, beware of what you are projecting, for the qualities you admire in one another are qualities you both possess. Equally so, the qualities you don't like are also your own reflection. And here is forgiveness. Yeah. So for some of you, you definitely could meet like an actual twin flame, and you both may be projecting some type of pain onto one another. It's a twin soul. You both share the same wounds in some way. Forgiveness, though, and then embrace. And it says only time will tell. So time will tell what's going to happen in this connection. It says through each other, you find the missing pieces. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. Yeah. So, like I said, for some of you, this is a situation where something is going to be really good. And if you're not careful, you're going to talk yourself out of it and say, it's too good to be true. Because this may be your first time in like experiencing this type of love. But what I want to remind you of is that if you have been doing the work to heal, you have to know the real true love is what you're going to attract. You're not the person that you were before who just wanted love, but you were embodying a codependent type of wound that was attracting you to just narcissists. You're actually, if doing the work, you're going to attract people who are healthy, who are happy. I'm not saying that their life is perfect, but at least like they're a vibrational match for you. The type of person who doesn't come in with the actual goal or the plan to just hurt you. Some of you have run across people in the past and that was their goal. Their goal was to hurt you. That was the goal from the very beginning of meeting you. So they quickly try to love bomb you. You have something coming in now. For some of you, it looks like love bomb.
Welcome to Spiritual Studies Session 63. This session's focus is on the comparative religious subject of spiritual energy. In a kind of three-part series on alchemy, it seemed a natural transition to work itself back into a greater concept of energy, or how to make things achievable, how to actually work with things becoming. The root of the word energy is Greek as it moves into definitions of activity, action, operation, ergos, which means something that works. It works. Or related to the Proto-Indo-European root to do. And of course, Aristotle would liken this word to existence, reality, actuality. Something that makes things do things. It's not potential. It is the agent that makes things do. So to approach this subject, we're going to go across different traditions, some with more elaboration than others. But we start in the East with Qi. And this could be understood as electromagnetic energy vibrating at different frequencies. Of course, this concept is not wild by any means. Light is a vibration of energy. Color is a manner of a specific wavelength of energy. Sound, of which is the medium of this talk, is a vibration of energy. It's to say that all things are contingent on this energy, Qi. Every object in the world having its own energy or aura. And see, as soon as I introduce the word aura, then it's like, oh, are we slipping into the spiritual end of this, right? Qi, the vita, as it's known elsewhere, the vital force of which everything in the universe, especially every living thing. Qi in the East has been studied for over 10,000 years. It has its own concepts in Japan, in China, in India, which we'll be talking about later, and also throughout Polynesia, which we'll be talking about later. This concept goes across the world bearing different names and bearing different concepts. Bearing this name of Qi, then it is pertinent for us to mention yin and yang, male and female, undulations on the wavelength of energy which flows through all things. This hermetic truth as well, flux. Everything has the masculine and the feminine in its archetype. The example used before in the course is that to eat food is a intaking, yin. To speak out is an outward expression, yang. These concepts of different functions of our body, the capillaries that open in your heart, yin. The closing, yang. Ki, or Reiki, is the Japanese twang to the Chinese Qi. Reiki, Rei, corresponds to universal or magical. So the universal energy, Reiki, achieved through initiation and through practice, not just experimentation, but familiarization. Self-cultivation of your own Qi is Qi Leo, or Leo, which is the use of your own Qi upon yourself, or self-cultivation. In the previous talks on alchemy, it was discussed how eventually the Taoists in the East stopped practicing seeking the elixir of life, immortality, through external means. Eventually, this turned into an internal trajectory to seek transmutation, transcendence through internal means instead of, say, drinking cocktails of mercury. And of course, Tai Chi isn't so far off to this, right? Again, working with this universal energy as it is in and outside of yourself. So, of course, this definition of Qi is quite flexible, depending, of course, again, on its multiplicity of different states. We have what? We have heat, right? That's thermal. We have electrical. Well, that's very, very popular nowadays. We have chemical, okay? Particularly fitting for the alchemical talk. Biological energy, right? Life energy. Quantum. Energy, raw, right? And all these different forms are all just different forms of it. Qi can also be thought of as consciousness, the specific energy of awareness. Now, this is what is pointed to when considering the observer effect in quantum physics. With the double split, why does it change? Because of observation. It changes because Qi, consciousness, is energy that is active in the world. Things come about because they are connected to this energy of consciousness. All is affected by it. There is also concepts for the pre-birth Qi, or the Qi that would create life, reproductive essence, Jing Qi. And there are exact sciences for how to understand the interplay of these kind of pre-birth energies that ultimately constitutes what becomes a human being, the sexual essence, or how it converts into spiritual essence, Shen Qi. And so you can see with this sophistication, with this articulation of this concept throughout the ages, we've become very advanced, here in the East when it comes to how we can understand the subject and all of its nuance. The symbol for qi in Chinese, the Chinese symbol for it, means no fire. When qi in the body is said to have been mastered, it means that it's controlling its own yang output, which is fire. It burns you up. Modern life necessitates so much yang energy, as has been previously discussed, that we tend to run towards inflammation, chronic inflammation, which is always a common denominator of our most systemic health issues. Our deterioration from literally burning up from the inside, or aging, rapidly aging as a result of this yang energy. So ultimately, the seeking, as it would be put by the character or the symbol of qi, is to, the mastery is to reduce the fire, no fire, which kind of puts an idealization onto the yang. But then again, as you would see, like Bruce Lee, be like water, my friends, receptive as opposed to burning. Yeah, burning is a very active agent, right? Full of yang. Destruction is yang. Destruction is what men have always done best. Physical destruction. Anyhow, this is a very soupy subject. There's many different ways to take this. So it's not just the energy of itself. The energy is something that can be applied, right? Qi is something that's applied. So it takes this specific kind of confluence of intelligence or wisdom and the use of qi in order for it to be transmutation or used in higher frequencies or used to better means, right? So you can't hand something or anything dramatic power without it having the vessel to contain or the wisdom to properly utilize that power, which is a kind of trope that you'll see in shonen. So with this same regard, in Taoism, the ultimate goal is to allow this flowing of qi without resistance or judgment, as is the aforementioned, yin predominance. The goal of energy is to bring it into a state of enlightenment. Now, that would be to say that you have heightened, ever transcended your vibration, which is a kind of, a hippie trope or like a very fundamental kind of statement at the root of different religions, especially those that are higher, more tied to mysticism. And, transcendence as it goes along with bouts of psilocybin and plant medicine. There's often talk of how everything is vibrating, how everything is vibration. And so, yet again, it ties itself perfectly back into the subject of spiritual energy, or just energy flat out, or qi, as we're discussing it here. And so this ultimate process is happening on various levels, right? Like, as we mentioned, qi is in many different forms. So ultimately, if one is seeking, say, self-consciousness, seeking moksha, or seeking some form of enlightenment, then that would be to say that perhaps it's utilizing even the quantum level of the functions of vibration, of energy into oneself. It's also to say that there are invisible processes and invisible facets to our beings that are not easily observable or have yet to be observable by scientific use and devices. So, how far do we want this dissolve to go? Ultimately, to seek a state of emptiness is also something that can be procured through manipulation, through acupuncture. And of course, what does acupuncture work with? Well, it's working with the qi. So the conscious circulation of qi, not just potentially from within the body, but also the conscious circulation of how you send it or work it outside of your body. And to work it, right, is like another thing, because there's the seeking of manipulation towards ill aims, and then there's the understanding of using the energy toward rightful aims, right? which in martial arts is kind of a grand subject, right? Taekwondo in itself is always in the use of self-preservation and self-defense. There are certain ethical lines to be drawn in order to utilize certain energy whatsoever. Okay. So in this mention of kind of this trope term of Kundalini awakening, this kind of rebirth into a new dimension of consciousness, right? These are the sorts of words that we can throw out there to throw anybody of, say, like a more practical mind right out the window, right? This powerful field of energy that is attained in oneself. Now, let's try to break this down in a way that seems more palpable, perhaps. If you step into a certain room and there are candles lit about, and there are nice people and they're having candid conversation, and there are objects throughout that room that are very comfortable, you know, these kind of big comforters, and the colors are quite warm and natural. That is a feeling that can be procured. That is also within yourself and seemingly outside of yourself. There are certain things that you can do to achieve a state within yourself of a certain emotion, right? You climb a mountain. It was super arduous. There was so much physical labor that went into that. And so the arrival at the peak and the arrival at the height can be like a runner's high at the very least, or even a transcendent experience of bliss that was earned by the effort of climbing that mountain. So this Kundalini awakening, per se, you know, this involvement of oneself, inside of oneself, of this feeling of spiritual bliss, is likened to that. To take the metaphor of the mountain as a way to equivocalize it in your mind. This is also to say that there are energies out there within this philosophy that are understood to be malevolent astral forces, right? There are many different ways that we can feel. There are many different ways that these things can meet us. There are many negative, very palpable negative energies that can take over our body. And just to put that, you know, how many times have you had horrible thoughts, right? In the late hours of the night as you are, you know, flailing in your bed sheets, sweating, whatever, right? Nightmares. These are thought of as malevolent astral forces, which, you know, has that spiritual wording to it, but we all understand what it means to be full of anxiety, dread, angst. You know, these are the ways that these things substantiate, and this is what these spiritual traditions are ultimately reacting to, just to kind of level the playing field here, so to speak. So how to seek and how to kind of design yourself, per se, to invite in this feeling of transcendence is this ultimate seeking, and it is still believed and has been ultimately believed to achieve physical longevity and to achieve even physical immortality by cultivation of this energy, by religious devotion to maintaining this energy as a sort of healing system of the body. And as it was in the shamanic, it was about inducing the patient, per se, the one who needed to be healed, introducing an energy into them and hoping that they could run it themselves, that their body would accept it and that would send away the disease. So there's this whole, you know, untapped conversation on the nature of healing within this, which is why it's ultimately a religious and spiritual subject. As has been mentioned previously in the course, this was the most fundamental thing that sent humanity down the road of religiosity, which was how to heal, how to understand the nature of illness, and how to understand the nature of death. Okay, so you cannot take on these higher aspirations without a lot of learning, right? And to fight with somebody, per se, who is mastered in Tai Chi, you'll notice the key difference is their own sure-footedness. Their sure-footedness would allow them to take on greater postures and greater moves of greater extremism, per se. And that is because they have earned the wisdom of that sure-footedness. And this is both physically and abstractly speaking a necessity for reaching higher states or reaching higher charges of vibration, per se. And so that's why it's understood as an ultimate aspiration, and something that is dedicated to in these traditions. So to make the further point, once more, this is a process that is understood on many different levels. Again, energy is not just one form, right? So there are many different ways to come to understand how it functions, in what ways it comes to be. And so fascinating for us to consider what we do with the energy in the modern Western understanding, per se. It is just something that moves through wires and cords, through the air, and is captured and ultimately put to some purpose. It's a very fascinating thing to ruminate on. So now we want to mention prana, which is, of course, the Hindi Sanskrit way of approaching this same subject, and also has, this high level of sophistication, generations upon generations upon generations of studying and fine-tuning the understanding of what this means, prana. And if we pop open the Upanishad, the Prashna, then we'll see a quote, and it says, "All that exists in the three worlds rests in the control of prana. As a mother protects her child, O prana, protect us and give us splendor and wisdom." So the prana is thought to take on the forms in the body of 5 different things, which is the mind, the prana of the mind, the prana of the breath, which is the main prana, breath as the kind of fundamental of all prana. Then there is the energy of speech, hearing, and sight. And it's an old parable that there was this kind of test where the body wanted to know what among it was the most important. So it decided to send out each of its faculties one at a time to see if any of them were greater than the rest. And so sight left, yet the person still functioned. The although was blind, could still function, right? The ears left, and although deaf, the mind still functioned. And then the mind left, and although that left, it still lived, right? This is the vegetative state. But when prana begins to leave, the body actually dies, and then this rapid reclamation of life, because that was the most essential, the base of all bases, which was the prana, the life energy itself, which can be mundanely thought of as the breath, and as we've seen, Spiritus Sanctus, the sacred breath, the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit. Breath is always spirit, the most fundamental of all fundamental things. So losing this life force is losing the breath, right? As soon as you stop breathing, the consciousness does not stay long within the body, or is immediately breathed out, right? To witness somebody dying, oftentimes the feeling is that when they give out that last breath, that something has left, not is gone, but has left. And this is what has been always understood as this vital energy, or this life force, or this prana, or whatever name we wish to ascribe. This act of the parable of the body gives prana the supremacy of all of it that goes on. So there are these different words that come along here, which I'm not going to get too bogged down in terminology, I hope, today, but the prana shakti and the shit shakti, and the energy and the consciousness. So the distinction between the two, right? Shit is, or chit, which is, I know that could be misunderstood, means mind or consciousness. We're dealing with different languages here, right? So the shit shakti is the power of consciousness, and just shakti as this cosmological force, as it is alongside Shiva, or the creative force. So you have this concept of the two functioning, or spiritually functioning sorts of energy, right? Because para is like the para Brahman, if you remember us talking about that. Para means the unmanifested state, which is when Shiva and Shakti are together, the masculine and the feminine. When they are together, there is no ebb and flow. This is the unmanifested state, or the field, or the ether, the akasha, what have you. Human consciousness comes to be by a certain ebb and flow of, or anything comes to be because of Shiva and Shakti, which are the up and the down, or the masculine and the feminine aspects of vibration. Creative consciousness comes from this ebbing and flowing. This embodied soul, Jivatma, is this ebbing and flowing. The spark of the divine, the drop from the infinite ocean of the Brahman, is coming from the infinite ocean of the unmanifested, which is when the line is just a line, when it's not ebbing and flowing, which is the kind of totality of all potentiation, which exists everywhere all the time. It's only when something starts to do that up and down thing that it's separate, or it separates itself from it, which brings us back into the whole talk of the serpent as a form, right? This ebbing and flowing, this vibrational form is the serpent's body. It is serpentining. And if it's serpentining, then that means we're alive, right? Everything functions, or everything comes to be in a certain regard. That's, of course, just one way to understand the serpent allegory. Okay, so prana, giving all manner of energy to all the functions of our bodies and the functions outside of our bodies. One must learn to control this prana as it is understood in these different yogic traditions, right? To work with yoga, or even to work with transcendent yoga. What is this ultimate aspiration, if not to work with what is present? To relieve blockages in your own body, to make sure it all flows correctly. And of course, to anybody who has practiced yoga, then you know that this working with this act physically affects your mind mentally, which is reciprocal, of course. So this also could be understood as primary energy, vita, vital force, or simply breath, depending on how we're choosing to use this terminology. And the science of this terminology is equally as vast. So depending on what level we're talking about will change how this conversation goes. So of course, in the greatest of sense, all of the universe is manifested forms of prana, right? The fact that it is existing, whether it's like simply a rock, then the vibration is just very, very, would it be, for the physicists, wouldn't it be very fast, and that's why you can't move your hand into it? Or is it that it's very slow? These things work on different modes of vibration, right? Which these different modes of vibration give different physical manifestation and characteristics to it. Like if something's very hot, then the vibration is moving very quickly, which gives it the feeling of temperature, high temperature. And of course, if it's moving quite slow, then it appears quite cold, in which case that is simply that it's always prana, it's always the manifestation of this vibration, which all makes it prana and observable to us and interactable with us. However, it's only just distinctions in how it is characterizing this use of the up and down of the vibration. Okay, so the serpent power, the inner energy, that which transforms consciousness, or the development of awakened prana, right, is the Kundalini Shakti, which again is putting the preface on the feminine form of this energy. Again, just like what we saw with Chi, to prioritize the yin as opposed to the yang, or to prioritize the invitation of the unmanifested energy, or of pure consciousness, which transcends all of creation. So to invite in the unvibration, which is the unmanifested, which would be to reach the totality of all things, right? Because the cosmic ocean is everywhere and is all-knowing and gives potential to all things. So this ultimate aspiration of moksha, or awakening, is also to rejoin the cosmic ocean, which would be to cease vibration in the right kind of way. And that's one way to approach this subject. So, of course, there are distinctions for different higher selves, or different kind of steps up Jacob's ladder that this seeking of the internal prana, or cultivation of prana, can reach. There is the energy of consciousness, the Vatma Shakti or Shikti Shakti, which is the higher self, the Purusha. Whether we're seeking the unmanifested prana or we're seeking an invitation of a more cosmic prana, this is just to say, how can I emulate or make myself a proper receptor for the invitation of this type of vibe, as a different way of talking about it. So again, let's make it more mundane. So you've been real messed up lately, right? You've been real stressed. What can you do with any reasonability, physically, mentally? What you can take yourself out of your room, right? Go for a workout, take yourself to the river, read a book. Some people take like a nice warm bath. What things can you do to invite in this feeling of bliss? And it's the same sort of effort. It's the exact same kind of mundane way of what can I do, or what can I practice, or what can I continually practice in order to seek the invitation of a certain sort of feeling inside of myself. And of course, this will ultimately bleed into esotericism, which is the threefold Shakti, which is the will, knowledge, and action, just to take the translated words, which manifests itself as a trisula, which is the trident as it was appropriated into Greek via Poseidon, which of course Poseidon is the sea. Some interesting things there. And Shiva or Shakti has this, or both has this, three-pronged spear to point to this.
How you doing tonight, love?
So this omnipotence of prana is something that's not wasted upon the approach of, Hinduism. The prana Shakti, the cosmic Shakti, which is the organic phenomena of...
Sleep on me how? Don't take it personal, but you might sleep on me. What you talking about, boo? You know I love you.
The universe as it can be witnessed throughout organisms outside of yourself fuels the activity of thought. So you're talking about very nuanced understandings of what energy constitutes thought, right? That
I'm tired myself. I be going hard out here in this paint, trying to get my channel, look. But Empress paying off step by step. I'm up to over 300 subscribers now, so I'm making progress. And I had said this morning, I had told myself this morning, I said, you know what, I'm not gonna do nothing today. Shit, I wasn't doing up a line to myself. And then about a couple hours ago, I said, after I got finished doing the stream, I said, I am not gonna stream nothing else. It came right back with another stream. I tell you, but that's that Capricorn in me. That's that Capricorn in me. So we Capricorns believe in hard work. That's what we do. We work. We climb to the highest mountain and swim to the deepest ocean. Because we the mystical seagulls.
thought is a sort of energy. What you think about is something that you're running, right? And that this also can be not, well, maybe controlled, but more swayed, right?
What's your sign? What are you, a Leo? I'm just guessing.
Your moods, your energy. Your moods dictate your thoughts, right? What thoughts come out of you come from the source that is the mood. And so what sort of vessel are you? Or more like, what sort of things are you inviting in to ultimately substantiate your thought?
What you mean, there I go? What you talking about? What I do? I ain't did nothing, boo.
And then, there are other energy supplies. So say you've been thinking about something a lot, but there's a whole nother sort of energy that gives you the will to act on it. Or there is the energy of knowing, right? That is a specific sort of energy that somebody puts off. You talk to somebody about a subject, and you come to find through discernment that they seem to know all about.
Okay, I remember now. I have so much on my mind, baby. I do. I really do. I be having so much going through my head. It's a damn shame. That's all that air in my chart.
And that's because you recognize that energy that they know. It's very dissolving, as you can see. I hope haven't been speaking too much confusion. So something too about this re-mentioning of the prana being what we breathe, right? Because that ties it to all manner of spiritual traditions, as we touched on. That seemingly is a continuous well of reinvigoration of our supply, it being the most primary of all things.
Yeah.
And of course now, which this isn't the subject for the class, not this time, but there is the act of taking that well and then creating with it, and that is the word.
It did in all the reasons. It said y'all Capricorn, some of y'all Capricorn, y'all just working too damn hard. Y'all need some rest. Well, I be trying, but it's just like I can't. It's just like I be telling myself you need to get you some damn rest, and I still keep on pushing. That's crazy. That's because I ain't got no passion. I ain't got nobody that's passionate about life. When I get my soulmate, my real soulmate, I ain't gonna be able to be doing all this shit here. Cause he ain't gonna let me do it. He gonna be like, you got to go. So you got to get in this bed, do something, sit your ass down, take a break. Come on over here and give me some living. How about doing that?
Right? I am taking the well of this energy of which I'm always intaking, and I am I'm crafting it into noises, into meaning that
I guess that's why I be working so much. I be trying to release that pressure. I got to release that pressure somehow.
Derives into power, or derives into a swaying of external elements.
Really?
And so think of this as more of a foundational talk to that later talk. But, what sort of things that we can manifest through the manifestation.
How old are you, last call? I know you're younger than me.
Or through the manipulation of this kind of well of continuous energy that we're taking in. And so we can seek things through, egoism. We can seek to use this source, this power that's used for good or bad, toward seeking ego gratification or instant gratification, or what, right? What do we wish to do with this? So as a kind of another parable, or as another kind of mythological tie to this, you have Hanuman, which is the monkey god, the son of the wind in this myth.
Yeah, I'm 46. Where you in California?
And ultimately Hanuman surrendered to the divine, right? So to not use it towards your own aims, but surrendered to the divine, and gained the ability to become as large or as small as he wished, and subsequently overcomes all the obstacles that could be faced in this life, accomplishing miraculous feats by virtue of surrendering to the divine, which again is an act of yin, not yang, not to use it, but it's an act of yin, subordination. Not necessarily surrender is a great word for it. So maybe in the act of trying to control these things ultimately leads to the defeat, which is the appropriate transcendence through surrendering.
Move from Cali into
without this vital energy, the body is nothing, right? And which ultimately, as we peel it back in mythology, is a lump of clay that has been molded together and breathed into, right? Whether we're talking about the Christian tradition or whatever. So without this breath of God.
You say you moved from Cali to where? In where the hell that is?
As it is in that tradition, there is no beingness, there is no consciousness, there is no activity, right? What is a body other than a body without breath, right? If there's nothing in there, the body is just gross material. And this has been the subject of fascination for humans in memorial, into the ancient past, into prehistory, which is a wellspring for what becomes this spirituality. What is the thing that substantiates?
What part of Florida did you stay in? Hold on, let me see what you're talking about here. I was playing a game. I'm laying in the bed, listening and playing a game. Hold on a second. Let me see what you're talking about here.
Beingness of living. What is the thing that substantiates consciousness? How are we doing this? How are we moving about? How do we have characters? How do we have personas? How do we have this ingenuousness about us, if not through something other than gross materialism of itself?
Don't want to be tracked, bro.
And so bioelectricity is another kind of conduit, pun intended, that we can take to further discuss this conversation. This complex, seemingly subnuclear, quantum, whatever process that is this substantiation of our beingness, to see consciousness somewhere in the mind as a physical place, by which is the pursuit of recent scientists, right? Trying to find that one organ or trying to find that one nodule in the mind that substantiates consciousness, and it can't be found, because it would be to say that within these traditions, it is something about this bioelectricity, which is a moving thing. It's not in one place. It is the process, the summative process of a function. Or
what you think about the Kundalini? What you think about the Kundalini and the Tantric? You had it from somebody, son? I'm an old Georgia girl. I don't give a damn. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's one reason why I changed my name from my government name on my channel to Empress Goddess. But really, I mean, I still tell people my name a lot of times, because I ain't got nothing to hide, so I ain't worried about nobody messing with me. I know that much, because I'm too blessed for that. They try, but it don't work. Well, hit me up sometime on my email. My email on my in my about section. If you got Google Meets or anything like that, we'll chat it up, chop it up sometime. I'll be doing it. I'll be back here in my little this my woman cave back here. I'll be back here, doing my thing, chilling, recording and stuff, smoking my little weed. I got my little mini refrigerator back here. The only time I really got to leave out of here is like going in the kitchen to get, if I'm to cook something, or get myself something to eat. Or if I'm going out or something like that, but, this is where I be at, back here chilling. Bathroom, shot, everything in here, master bedroom. So I got all my little snacks and stuff in here. I got some more snacks in here. Don't make up. I'll be a kid to come in here and have a field day. When I used to keep my godson, he used to love to come stay with us, because he know I kept me some snacks. He know I kept snacks. I keep snacks in here in my closet. And he come in to my auntie, he loved them, the strawberry rolls and little Davis. I want some of the strawberry rolls, auntie. I said, he know because he know I used to keep them all the time. I got stuff stacked up in there. I buy me some snacks every day. It really don't even be eating like that no more. I used to snack all the time, but I don't snack like that no more. I just have it in case I want it,
Perhaps it's somewhere within the function of those processes, somewhere within the quantum states, right? I'm not going to seek to aim to answer that. But the energy is the thing that acts, thinks, knows, feels, and wills. All these things are a product of energy.
Yeah.
Different types of energy, but they're all a product of the same energy, vibration.
You said about what? Oh, when I said about we can chop it up sometime. Yeah, I don't believe in coincidence. I think everybody meet for a reason. Yeah, I think we all meet our soul family. Our tribe, people we supposed to meet. But I've always been like that, though. I've always been relatively a real friendly person. All my life I've been like that. It's like I'm the type of person who don't meet strangers, as they say. But that's one reason, because I'm so soft-hearted like that. Real tender-hearted. I've always been like that. I used to cry at the drop of a hat. I'm an empath, and I pick up on people's energy like that. That's one reason I like to read too much. I kind of stay to myself. I've always been a loner. From a child, I've been like this. I always like to give it to myself because I was always more mature than people my age. I always like to be around older people.
So there is the thing that fuels the thought, which is known as prana shakti, fueling thought, which is that specific thinking energy. And then there is the shit shakti, which is the energy of consciousness, as they are two distinct forms. Distinct in the most, in the way that energies can be most distinct. So it's just to say, I wanted to bring these subjects up. For one, giving out these words for further conversation and for further investigation, but also to give this strong nuance as to how this has been so sophisticated within Hindu mythology and within just the culture of Hindu in India. Gosh, I'm yammering now.
I'm glad you dropped in.
It's also to say that prana is the thing that forms.
I'm glad you dropped in on me. I was thinking about you. I was gonna play your song. Well, I did play your song last night. Well, I called our song now because you got me hooked on it. I like that song. I like music anyway, period. I love music.
Different aspects of our own anatomy, the different open ends of our beingness, our nostrils, our ears, our eyes, our mouth are all kind of things that were carved out through a necessity of prana. And again, prana isn't just the voice, right? It's also the senses. And so in order for these things to function most astutely, or to be able to function, to take in these different types of energy via sight.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. You brightened my night up. You made my day. Thank you for dropping in. I love you for that.
Via audio, via smell, then it had to form these sorts of openings. So prana is thought to create the different aspects of the anatomy as it extends into conversations of the nadis, which are NADIS.
I did think, I thought Info was gonna come on tonight, but I guess not. After my guy CG, this CG DAHLIN who I'm playing now. I had him on. He's been on my platform twice. I talked to him personally. I have his personal phone number and everything. Sweetest guy you ever want to meet. Very intelligent. Very intelligent. I respect. I fell in love with his mind because he's so damn smart. I told him that. I said, I fell in love with your mind because you just, wow. It's off the chain. I had a couple of open panels, with him where people could come in, and ask him different questions and stuff, because he is, all the stuff that I talk about here on my channel, this guy is a genius in all that. I mean, he is, words can't even explain to you.
Which are innumerable in the body and thought of as these little energetic points that are teased at by acupuncture or are utilized as pressure points by, say, the military, but all facilitate good or bad health, feeling congested, feeling weak, feeling healthy, all these things as they are understood in these various nadis, which are in principle the main ones are 14.
He said he enjoyed coming on, on and answering questions, because what he do is he get paid to do this stuff. Like that's what he's doing. He get paid to go around to these different colleges and stuff and universities, and he's also still in school. He don't got several degrees, and he's working on another one. He's into mysticism and all that, like me. He's into all that, their cult and all. But yeah, he's very intelligent. And I told him I have the utmost respect for him. He's very down to earth. He believes the way that I believe that we all are connected. We all one. We ain't with all that old prejudice mess. He real people. When I find real, recognize real, light attracts light. Remember that. I told her, he said that too. I said, I don't know what he said. He said, well, you know what they say? He said, light attracts light. He said that on my platform. I said, that's right. He's just cool. Anisha, all of them. Now, he like Anisha, because Anisha be picking his brain. he said she has some of the best questions ever. And to keep him, he said it's like good exercise for him when he come on my platform. He says it's good exercise, to keep him, I guess you could say like in shape, as far as what he doing with the lectures and stuff, and keep him, keep his mind sharp. I guess you could say it like that. But yeah, Anisha, but she be on. She be asking some serious questions, and he said, yeah, she had some great questions. He said he liked her because she's Anisha off the chain, man. Yeah, I got it posted. Yeah, it's on my channel. You'll see it's in my playlist where it's CG. It's a live. You'll find it in my live streams. CG DAHLIN, that's his name. CG DAHLIN. I have both of them.
Then, of course, there are the main energy points, which are the chakras, which is the whole nother discussion of itself. Which all these chakras are the homes for different sorts of energies that can be cultivated in the body, be it sexual energy, be it transcendent energy, be it earthly energy, concrete energy. All these things, as they are distinguished in different points of the body, as they are invited into the body, as they are cultivated within the body, right? If one thing is more blocked and another is more open, yada, 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 yada. Ooh. But of course, the ultimate aspiration, nad, as it is the root of the verb nadi, means motion or flow or vibration. So the ultimate aspiration is to let it all flow and let it all.
These are kind of this is what I be like. I be wanting people in here so I can talk to them, And it's like people always be in the clouds, I call them. They be in the bushes, lurking. And they won't say nothing, but they be in the bushes watching. And I be knowing they be watching. I be telling them I can feel them when they be in that. And then when I end my stream, it might say, well, you got 2 watching or 3 watching. But when I end the stream, I don't have 40 or 50 watching. You know what I'm saying? That shit is just crazy. And then I told them today, I said, I know y'all in the bushes watching. I said, y'all could at least hit the damn like button.
And to not have these blockages on every single level of your subtle circuitry, every single annal of your physical presence, to not be blocked and to be opened up in all of these forms, in all of these invisible dimensions of your beingness and in your existence. It is accommodant to the flow of this energy, whatever energy it takes form of. And so to not rule over your thoughts and to not rule over it, but to allow yourself to become something that is ruled by it. Prana, as it governs the intake of sensory impressions, Samana, as it governs your mental digestion and circulation. Apana, which it is the elimination of toxicity in the body in all of its various forms, manifesting itself into
See, the Kundalini and Tantric, sex. Kundalini is really what is the spine, it runs our spine. Then these I already got to explain it like they can, but basically, when you had, because I had one when I was, with my little sneaky, my well, he is a twin flame, that I was, had on the side. I think I told you a story of what's going on with this fucker here. Everyone told me he wasn't gonna give me no head, found somebody to give me some, so that's what I did. And but he's Taurus, I call him Taurus. He's I had a Kundalini awakening with him. And baby, you talk about something, it's just like you can't explain it. See, like it's like she felt like my head was gonna blow off the bed. Just, I was like, I thought I was in heaven, boy. It was like I had never experienced nothing like that before. That's how I knew what it was. It was just incredible. It was just like, wow, what the fuck just happened there? You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh my God. It was like a change, I tell you. But basically, that's what it is. You really experience it. You can experience it through yoga, but really it's like a sexual energy, Kundalini, it's awakened really through sex, because that's not really, sex really is a spiritual thing, see, but see the church tried to demonize it, but really it's a spiritual thing, it really is, it's a spiritual thing. That's really that's really when you having sex, you're really raising your vibrations, You're wakening up spiritually. It raises your spiritually, Let me go on and let him finish this. I'm still running my mind.
Thoughts, however, it is rooted in negative emotion, mood, ambience, spirit, vibration, and the udana, which is the opposite, which is the positive mental energy, enthusiasm, motivation, vigor. And so you can see how every person, if you look at any person, they are a cocktail of these different kind of emotional idiosyncrasies, right? Everybody brings about that with them a certain level of, deflatedness, or a certain level of enthusiasm with certain subjects, or a certain level of, uppity energy or very docile energy. And all these things are the different cocktail of what that individual has cultivated, or what they choose to accept, or what that specific vessel satellites itself for. It becomes receptive of, because all sorts of energy are out and possible at all times, in all directions, everywhere. But they are a curation, a very distinct curation of these energies as they breathe it in and out on the daily. So,
this last time I'm stopping, I have a couple of audio books on Tantric and Kundalini that I, from time to time, that I broadcast, and that one of my highest viewed videos is one on Kundalini. I had almost 900 views on it. It's on oh shit, what is it? It's Tantric. I think it's on the Tantric and the Kundalini. Yeah, I think it is. It's on that one, but I've had almost 900 views on that video. I got to look it up and see. I don't did so many. I don't did about 600 videos.
What is this talk of immortality, right? What is this talk of being able to seek something greater? You know, like, is this something that is observable, or is this allegory? I don't stand to say, but it is to say that in the discussion of that aspiration, there is the word soma, and the soma, as it is understood and as it's been mentioned in the course before, is ultimately by Western scholars been thought to be understood as a drink of which facilitates transcendent plant medicine-like experiences. However, there is an argument to say that the rain of the nectar of the Sahasrara is the Kundalini energy as it is drank inside the body, allegorically, not physically. So the idea of the soma, or achieving the nectar of the crescent moon, is this ultimate aspiration of what is said as immortality, but it's also more like hinting at what I was talking about before with the Kundalini and Chi. It is to say, to reach that place of ultimate flow is to drink the soma. And that's yet another interpretation. But of course, this concept has its own ways that it divulges outwards. This is definitely a comparative religion.
I tell you, I be covering so many subjects. I can't. Yeah, it was on the Kama Sutra. I had 808 views on that. When I did that 2 weeks ago. Tara and Kama Sutra. And then the next one I had Let's Talk About Sex. I had over 200 views on that one, but that Kama Sutra, 808 views on that.
Subject, this idea of Kundalini, the snake, and the ultimate kind of realization goes out to the birth of Christ, goes out to China, goes out to the Persians in different ways, goes out to the Greeks, goes out to the Romans, I mean, onward and onward, the Sumerians, the Egyptians, some sort of emblem that hints this ancient knowing of Kundalini that very likely predates human civilization and all manner of record that we have to substantiate human civilization. This has to be something that goes as far back as we could ever hope to say. This is also something that in certain ways we could even, with more haphazardness, trace to Native American traditions, most notably the Hopi, and, you know, is littered all throughout mystical terminology, occultism, and esotericism. And this is also to hint at the fact that it's been present for thousands upon thousands of years. You know, Neolithic evidence of this correlation between the sun and the serpent, or the disc and the serpent, or the egg and the serpent. You know, how far back can we take this specific investigation of the serpent being an exact allegory for the Kundalini, or for, you know, the very subject of sacred spiritual energy? So this is much more of a divulgence, as it is much greater than the conversation of alchemy, right? Because alchemy would ultimately work with things and would ultimately have its beginning, in quotes, with Hermes Trismegistus, or the thrice greats in the Egyptian mythology. But this is to say that this is something that can be traced back into, you know, back when it was stones, right? The Neolithic age at the very least. So let's, instead of working with this more technical, let's see how this might have taken shape in other ways across the world, which I want to start with the Wakan of the Lakota, Wakantanka, which I always, as I have been privy to circles and to sweat lodges, I always heard Wankatanka, which I think could be its own kind of, I'm not going to make guesses on that. There are certain ways to try to translate Wakan, which is, of course, tricky, because you're not only dealing with translation, but you're also dealing with culture. And you're also talking about that this is a very nuanced thing that is brought to a kind of more subtle understanding as opposed to a more overt understanding. And what I mean by that is we often want the definition given hard and fast and straight, so that we can immediately contextualize all that goes into it. But what if we're missing the context of which this kind of definition could be contextualized with? We're running into the same issue with talking about the dream time with the Aboriginals, and anytime you're hoping to understand what the Tao is. So the certain translation for Wakan or Wakantanka is the great mystery, the great mystery. But at the same time, this great mystery is the progenitor of all the things that have ever come into being. So this is where it gives us a very curious twist on all creation stories. If we think of this primordial energy, right? This grand potentiation before vibration was ever even conceived of. This is the Wakantankan, or the allegory as it was in Hinduism, the great ocean of which we all are a drop of. Okay, so in the great emptiness, which is called Han, which is darkness, or the Guna Gap, or Noon, or the waters at the beginning, right? In this tradition with the Lakota, Han, darkness, and him feeling lonely, Wakam Tonkin, feeling lonely, decided to create companions, great spirit, focused energy, creating the rock, the first god, rock, creating earth, Maka, creating sky, which is the sun, which became the sun, or made the sun, Inya, and Maka, and himself, four gods, creating further gods, creating moon, wind, falling star, thunderbird, creating the further aspirations as the kind of the hierarchy further and further descends, as it always does in creation stories. The whirlwind, the buffalo, the four winds, the two-legged creatures, which is us, creating the spirit of death, the breath of life, Niya, and the shadow, Sikon, thought, creating all manner of everything that's ever come to be, as it delineates all from the great spirit, the Wakan, or the Wakatankan. So the word Wakan is also used a great deal in observation of specific things. So, usually we wouldn't say, as you're looking around in your environment, you're saying that's God, right? So this is a very different approach, right? It's to say that Wakan is the mystery and is something great and is frequently observable in things. When things are sacred, they have the Wakan, but many things have Wakan, which soon we'll be going over. Other names, so obviously Great Spirit, Grandfather. These are the ones that are used more ubiquitously in the translation as it comes across, especially Great Spirit, which are these the names for many things, or are these the names of the one being? And the answer is yes. That it is all those things, because it is latent in all things. So how can you distinguish the different forms that ultimately are it, if you understand, right? Same would be the conversation with the aforementioned prana and chi. How could you say that this thing is it the one thing, or is it all things? Yes. Yes, it is. And so, to work with this is the work of a shaman. Technically, we all work with it, but to be very acquainted with it is the work of a shaman, which, again, tie that over to India, and who's the one that works with the prana? Well, that would be the yogis, the bodhisattvas, right? And so in the same way, it's the shaman. The shaman is the one that works with the wakan to use it in a specific way. Right? And the specific way to use it oftentimes lends itself to music, because music is a vehicle for prayer, or to use drums, rattles, to use the voice, and to open yourself up in that sort of way is a communication with energy. It is an invitation of energy, right? If you're feeling down, try to sing a song and see what happens to you, right? To invoke yourself with this mood, or to invoke the universe to manifest something peculiar, is to sing, is to create music. Music is something we depend on, and most certainly if we involve ourselves with it, that can provide transcendent experiences. And this is why drums, ceremonial chanting, dancing, all these things have always been a part fundamentally of the religious experience, because it is how we interact with or invite into ourselves the energy of that which is all around us at all times. How to procure it in the way that we want to procure it, in a way that is altruistic, or in a way that invites optimism or hope, How can we ascertain these things if we don't engage with it? Which this is a way that we engage with it. There, of course, are things that are not good energies, which have this kind of evil wakan, which is things that fear the sage. They fear the smoke of the sage. The good spirits love the energy of the sage, and the bad don't. They reject it, and that's a kind of like tool to utilize, right? What things are ultimately always going to invite good moods towards me is a certain sort of question. The sweetgrass has also been a fundamental tool, which has its own spirit and energy, but it attracts its likeness, right? Which, if it is great, things attract its likeness. And if it's not like it, then it repels it. Thus, it's a tool against those things. Oh, okay, I need to calm down a little bit. Okay. So in this way, these plants are wakan, which means they have energy, which are beneficial towards specific purposes. Wakan, as it is power, or as it is effectualness in this world. The plants that help are wakan, but also the plants that don't are wakan, right? If it's poisonous, that's wakan. So whatever has this sense of agency is wakan. And so, what would be poison to one is a poignancy of energy, which would be poisonous to one, but would be medicine to another in small attributes, right? So to call things good and bad is a very tricky notion of this, right? It's just to say that it has power, it has agency, it has a trick, right? It has teeth in this world, right? It has something that it can do. So of course, like animals, all manner of animals have wakan. Alcohol has wakan. It makes people crazy. So it has agency in this world. Food, all manner of food, all manner of ingestion, all manner of it supplying you is wakan, right? Babies are wakan, and they're wakan in their own very distinct way. There's also all manner of very old things are quite imbibed with wakan, which is also a different way to translate this per se, or I should say approach it, is something with meaning, right? If it has significance in some form, if we approach it in an air of significance, then we imbibe it with wakan, or we imbibe it with energy, and it holds that. Since everything is energy, it can take it, right? It's a vessel for it in some form. So people talk about rocks, right? Rocks, as this is like this, people making fun of them for thinking that they have these metaphysical attributes. It ultimately derives back into this animism, or into this sacred energy or spiritual energy that is latent in all things, which is to say that anything can be a vessel for anything. Anything can be significant, right? Anything can have meaning. Anything is capable of allegory, right? The mountain, if we have a story, if we have a significance that many people have given to that mountain is not just a mountain. That mountain becomes a vessel for all the meaning that has been poured into it. All things are capable of withholding such energy, or capable of becoming wakan. Oh, gosh. So every object of everything that is perceivable is capable of this, and is also in itself already has latent spirit. Now, if we take this over to the Iroquois, then there's the Orenda, which I don't know if I'm saying that correct. It's Orenda. And this is a very similar concept with a different word, a transmissible spiritual energy capable of whatever, capable of exceeding or enacting somebody's will that is latent in all things. Again, so every animal has its own agency, thus it has Orenda. And as it translates out to plants, storms are said to have tremendous Orenda, which again we could say positive or negative, but again, if we think of the storm as purely negative, it is going to be so. However, a destructive force can be a source of renewal for the land. It can be a creative force, right? You have to clear off the whiteboard to be able to write something new on it. So the destructive force, right? It's a force. It's an energy that is present in it, right? It carries it for whatever way that you wish to contextualize that, right? I mean, I've said it before in the course, but there's that quote, devils are angels in disguise, right? Opportunities towards wisdom. So, you know, this bringing up of the Iroquois and even like this juxtaposition between that and Wakan with the Sioux or with the Lakota, or to take other terms for the Algonquins, or take other terms from the Mohawk or from the Shoshone. This is to say that this concept is universal in some form, but focusing on the Orenda, to say the root word Ren is the power of song. What is song if not vibration, ambience carried by the medium of air or by the medium of spirit? So in the very kernel center of the word that is the universal things across all things, it is song, which is beautiful. That everything's a song. And I've used the example before, but with J.R. Tolkien's creation story for the Lord of the Rings via the Silmarillion, everything ultimately was the song, the singing of Iluvatar in the Ainu. It's to say that in the comparative religious subject and study of J.R. Tolkien, he obviously came to this fundamental, which we can see is hidden within many mythologies and creation stories across the world, as this subject is. So it is to say that every species and everything has its own specific way of cultivating the song in what song they're singing. And as a caveat to this, I want to bring up two more brief subjects. There is, of course, the mana, which was previously discussed when we were discussing the Polynesians, but we also see in some forms with the Melanesians, which the distinction here is that it can be either good or bad, but it is agency, and it is latent in all manner of things, inanimate objects, persons, and spirits. And so what's that? Spirits, as they are active in this world and have some measure of agency on how things are affected. Impersonal, amoral, supernatural force, as it's been defined by Westerners. Amoral in the sense that it is force. It is a tool. It is something that can be utilized. It's something that can be grown in a person. How much power do you have over your life? How much power do you have over people? And when I say power, don't think of it in the capitalistic sense. Think about agency. How much sway? How much do you invite that in on yourself, right? And of course, then with the Polynesians and the Melanesians, they would say that their leaders had great mana, because the leaders would have great sway on what would and wouldn't happen. And then, you know, look over to the Finnish and to the Baltics. You have Vaki, V-A-K-I. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. That's the whole subject. I'm a reader, not a speaker. I haven't been all these places. But it is to say that yet again, in this tradition across the world now with the Finnish, we see that there are a concept for a strong emotional presence to the inlatent universe, a strong ability to imbibe objects, places, things, people with Vaki, which is energy, which sounds very similar to Reiki, strangely enough. Ki, chi. Maybe it's coming through Siberia. I might have to look into that. It could be through the Samoyedic people. I wouldn't be just surprised to see that the Siberian tribes have a different words for this, if it's not just simply translations of the word spirit in different animistic traditions. But with the Finnish and the Baltics in this instance, people with special gifts, seers, are the most capable of tracing or observing the individual spiritual entities as they weave in and out of all things, right? So the shaman, in the same respect, is the seer that can recognize something that has been affecting you that needs to be dealt with, released, or transmuted. And this is to say that even if we don't believe like in immortality per se, we don't want to take that huge leap into the spiritual energy field than it is to say that our approach to life and what moods we take into ourselves ultimately result in physical ailments, of which are only treated by changing that mood. Anxiety, chronic anxiety, as it leads to inflammation, as it leads to all manner of heart issues, high blood pressure, which results in what? I mean, give a cavalcade of different things that can result in. But to get back on point, religious places and settings, such as ceremonies, as they're held in cemeteries, this act imbibes the Veiki into these places, right? So answering a question of why is this place sacred and another isn't, and that's because people have imbibed it with a sort of energy that makes it independently significant. But this Veiki of not just only as it applies to specific places, as it's inladen with people's significance, but it might also have an innate presence of which inspired them to ascribe further significance via their own energy to its energy. There are many different types of Veiki as it comes to this specific tradition. There is the energy of death, and this facilitates certain burials, and this is why ancient people did everything that they could to perform rituals for the dead in order to transmute that energy. They couldn't have that around. And that's why it was so important for funerals to be taken place, is to transmute that. There's the energy of the sauna, as it is, right? Idiosyncratically, culturally significant to the Finnish. And I would argue beyond, and should be significant to all of us, right? With the natives, you have the sweat lodges. There's the energy of fire, right? The potential to heal through fire. That's why we get fevers, to burn and to take impurities out of us, but also it's the inflammation, the yang, that is also a detriment to us. There's the specific Veiki energy of the forests, latent within them. There's the specific energy of cliffs, mountains, of which is only viewed as like the most masterful to work with that energy. And then lastly, and this is an exhaustive list, but I think a good place to cap this, the energy latent to the Veiki, latent in bodies of water, in lakes and wells. So all of these things that I've listed have a certain ambience about them, right? There's the way that you feel at the cusp of the ocean. There's the way you feel at a lake. These things are only possible by their very beingness. There's the way you feel when you're in the forest. There's the way you feel with that tree. These are things that are only possible in that forest. These moods, as they are only found latent in those things. The energy of a city, the energy of a cemetery. All these things are not good or bad. It just depends on approach, and it depends on what energy you carry. So, let's do some summative notes. Now, this is to say that this concept is older than old. This is to say that I will not stand to say that this subject has come up independently and spontaneously across the world, because I do, and that's very possible, but I do believe that this is something that has been known from time immemorial and has taken all manner of different forms through different languages and different words. But still, they all resemble each other in different ways. They all have certain fundamental truths about them in different ways. And there's been a great forgetfulness of this kind of truth, a great ignorance of this kind of truth. And it's not to say, right, like it's not to convert everybody to be spiritual, but it is to say that everything is energy, which is, the ever growing thesis of scientific investigation into quantum physics and such. I mean, it's an inevitability that it's going to have to be a reoccurrent conversation in that pursuit. We have panpsychism, we have the concept of the prima materia, in seeking what things were like at the initial Big Bang, right? Perhaps it was very placid. Perhaps that was the point before vibration manifested. Perhaps that was the point before yin and yang came to be, right? And in all these creation stories, you have the creator that is placid in some form and then decides to shake things up, or is lonely, or whatever, right? Whatever reason comes to it, the shaking things up usually creates a male and a female, a god and a goddess of some sort. And that is the masculine, the sacred masculine, the sacred feminine, as they are both necessitated in the nature of vibration. Yin, yang, up, down. And everything that substantiates all the things that are born come from that delineation, come from that vibration. So I don't have this isn't a part where I get to preaching, but I want to say that, in this mention of alchemy in the previous sessions of the course, this is something that ultimately kept scratching away at the subject that I felt like I couldn't divulge into, because obviously it leads to me talking endlessly like this. So, in whatever conversation, in approach to different religious conversations, in approach to different, even plant medicines and experiences one has had in plant medicines, a lot can be explained by retaking this approach, by respecting this approach, and by understanding how foundational it is to all religious and spiritual mythologies, scriptures, onward and onward. To conjure, to create incantation, to do magic, to do witchcraft, is to do the same thing as, taking a bath or the procured usage of a particular vibe that you wish to invite into yourself. It's all utilizing the field that is ever present all around us. It's all taking from the potentiation. Okay, I'm just going to stop.